Hello, everybody. At this time, we are talking about economics in action. Economics is not just something that exists in textbooks, it is all around us. Each one of us is an economic animal, hardwired to make economic decisions. We do so instinctively, almost without thinking. Understanding why we do what we do is key to the economist's role. It requires an appreciation of many related disciplines such as politics, mathematics, statistics, sociology, and psychology. Blending these elements into a coherent and effective framework is what makes an economist that little bit special. And then, what topics are covered within economics? The first, about principles of economics. This provides you with a good foundation of basic theories, concepts, and models around economics, which will help you to predict the behavior of various businesses, consumers, markets, and national economies. And then, second, econometrics. Econometrics uses maths to figure out how different things in the economy are connected, such as the prices of things or people's action. It covers some of the main practical techniques used to analyze economics, business, and financial data. And then third, political economy. Here you will gain an introduction to the major works of four great and very different thinkers: Adam Smith, Karl Marx, John Maynard Keynes, and Friedrich Hayek. And then we move to choices and economics. Life is all about choices. However, people, companies, and government cannot have everything they want. What they are able to do is limited by both resources and time. We therefore have to choose from a range of available options. Do I or you want more leisure time or to earn more money? Does a government want to raise expenditure on health or defense? Does a company reduce prices or increase spending on advertising to boost sales? Economics examines how we come to these choices and can inform policies in a wide range of areas, including health, transport, commerce, environment, defense, etc. We live in a world with unlimited wants and limited resources. Economics is all about determining how to deal with these two features of scarcity. We move to varieties of economics. There are two main ways to learn about economics: a person, a family, a business, a group, or the government can all make decisions independently. Microeconomics looks at different parts of human behavior to figure out how people react to changes in prices and why they want certain things at certain prices. Microeconomics tries to explain why and how different things have different values, how people make financial decisions, and how they can trade, work together, and cooperate in the best way. Microeconomics looks at how supply and demand change over time and how well things are made and how much they cost. It also looks at how people divide and share work, set up and run businesses, and deal with uncertainty, risk, and strategic game theory. Macroeconomics looks at the economy as a whole, both nationally and globally. It does this by stimulating the economy with a lot of data and variables from the economy. It could be a certain part of the world, a country, a continent, or the whole world. It mostly looks at how economies grow, change, and go through cycles. Foreign trade, government fiscal and monetary policy, unemployment rates, inflation and interest rates, the growth of total production output as shown by changes in gross domestic product or GDP, and business cycles that cause expansions, booms, and recessions are all looked at. There is a connection between microeconomics and macroeconomics. The sum of all microeconomic events makes up an aggregate macroeconomic event. But these two areas of economics use very different theories, models, and research methods that can make them seem to go against each other. Many economists study how to put together the basics of microeconomics with macroeconomics into theory and research. And then we move to the problem of scarcity. Every society at every level must make choices about how to use its resources. Families must decide whether to spend their money on a new car or a fancy vacation. Towns must choose whether to put more of the budget into police and fire protection or into the school system. Nations must decide whether to devote more funds to national defense or to protecting the environment. In most cases, there just isn't enough money in the budget to do everything. Economics helps us understand the decisions that individuals, families, businesses, or societies make, given the fact that there are never enough resources to address all needs and desires. And then we move to the study of economics. The study of economics involves three related investigations. The first, why scarce resources are exchanged. Second, how consumers and producers behave as they interact with each other in markets in their attempt to achieve mutually beneficial exchange. And third, the role of government in compensating for the limitations at markets in achieving mutually beneficial exchange. And then we move to essential concepts of economics. Much of what we study in economics has to do with money and the markets. What are people willing to pay for something? Is one industry doing better than another? What is the economic future of the country or world? These are important questions economists examine, and it comes with a few basic terms. Supply and demand is one of the first things we learn in economics. Supply speaks to the quantity of something that's available for sale, while demand refers to the willingness to purchase it. If the supply is higher than the demand, the market is thrown off balance and costs typically decrease. The opposite is true if demand is greater than the supply available because that commodity is more desirable and harder to obtain. Elasticity is another key concept in economics. Essentially, here we are talking about how much the price of something can fluctuate before it has a negative impact on sales. Elasticity ties into demand, and some products and services are more elastic than others. I think it is enough. Thanks for watching.